to Align and Elevate. Love who you are. A show where I can be me and you can be you. Let's get started. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the natural law of cause and effect. This podcast is a reflection of the work that I do at the Healing Oasis with people on a one-on-one basis. Intuitively, I search out the cause to someone's problem that they are having, whether that be physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual, or a combination of all of these, usually. Welcome to the show. On this show, I will talk about quite a few different subjects and perspectives on life using what comes up in my own life as a guide. And as I walk through my own trials and tribulations, I will express them to you, bringing more clarity and focus on healing the issue that I might be having. My motto that I live by is, what's the deeper meaning? What's the root cause, so that we can transmute it and release the problem? So the law of cause and effect is a natural law that everything is governed by. Understanding this law can keep us out of victimhood. So I've begun to play with AI a little bit, and the definition that it comes up with is, it's a fundamental principle that resonates throughout our existence. It asserts that every action or cause inevitably leads to a corresponding reaction or effect. In other words, nothing occurs by chance. Every choice, action, and thought sets in motion a specific outcome or consequence. I feel like there's always a reason for everything, and most of it is divinely guided. And I say mostly because I truly believe that what we experience in this life is for us on a deeper level to allow us as a soul to evolve. What would be the point otherwise? So I literally think sometimes when I see something happening, like people that are going to a job from 9 to 5 that they hate, and that's all they focus on, is what I call the 3D life, meaning third dimensional life, of getting up, eating, go to work, come home, eat, go to bed, watch some boob tube. I call that existing, not living, not thriving, not learning, not evolving. What's the point if that's all we're doing is existing? Up until a few years ago, that's basically how I was living, is just existing, trying to get through everyday life, taking care of kids and house and job and all those things. And several years ago, probably around 2010, I felt really stuck in my job. And even though it was a good paying job, it was stressful. I was on call all the time. I am happier that I have left that world and embraced a different way of being. My bank account is not as happy as I am, but I am happy, and that's what matters. I definitely feel more relaxed, more free. There's more choice in my life. Anyway, I feel like I got off topic. I don't really script life. I don't plan anything particular. And yes, I have a schedule. I run a business. But I also go with the flow. If there is any downtime, I'm going with flow. I have some goals in mind, like, I know the clothes need to be done today, or, dishes need to be washed, dinner needs to be cooked. I get all that. But if it doesn't happen, I don't sweat it. It's okay. It'll get done. So my list is a very fluid list. If I don't feel inspired to do something one day, I just don't do it. It's kind of like these podcasts. I have to be in the right frame of mind and the right mood to sit down and do these. And I tell you, that's a whole different way of living than the existing living, where you get up by an alarm, you Go to work at a certain time, get off at a certain time every single day. Park in the same parking spot, brush your teeth in the same order, take a shower the same way. All of that is too robotic, if you think about it, too automatic. It doesn't allow for the flow of something new and interesting to come into your life. So now I wait for inspiration to come. I listen to my body. I honor what I'm feeling like in the moment. And if I feel like I need a nap or some downtime, maybe it's a 5-minute nap. Maybe it's an hour like I took the other day. I will stop no matter how busy I am and honor that downtime that I need. Stopping and breathing just for a few minutes can be transformative for the rest of your day, honestly. We could even try that for just a minute. I've been working pretty hard all day at the computer, so let's take a second and just breathe. Notice how you breathe in and out. Do you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth? Do you just kind of barely breathe out? Or do you blow out that stress? Do you really release all that no longer serves you through that breath? So we're going to try that one more time. In through the nose. Hold. And then really release it. Hold again. It's in that hold after the exhale that we can get into that subliminal space of relaxation. Now, obviously, if you feel like you need to breathe in, please do. But if you can hold that exhale a little longer, you will notice your whole body just kind of melts. And that can re-energize your whole day just by that one simple practice. If you have the space during the day to even lay down and be horizontal on the floor, on a couch, on the bed, wherever, you would be surprised how that can even help. Maybe you go out to your car and lay in the back seat. Just do it if that's what your body's asking for. I promise you, your normal, ordinary life is not going to end because you did that one simple thing that felt like a little bit of craziness, a little bit out of the box. But when you step out of that box, even in the simplest ways, could your life be happier? Could it be a more prosperous place? Could it be more loving? Could you step out of fear when you step out of that comfort zone? We live in that fear box of a good portion of our life. We're taught that, we have to always be careful in what other people are thinking and saying and doing and all that stuff. But I promise you, when you were born, there was no fear box. Do you remember being a kid? You would jump off of something that's like 3 feet tall, even though you were only 20 inches tall. Okay, maybe you were a little taller, but we didn't stop and think about the impact of that jump. We just did it for the fun of it. Making that decision to leap and take that jump is something that you might feel is dangerous, but that doesn't mean you live in the fear of it. It means you make an informed decision about it. You weigh the risks versus the call of jumping and versus the thrill of jumping. Sometimes it's worth it. Obviously, can we use some discernment here and not go jump off of a bridge? Use this as a metaphor, the jumping. So on this podcast today, I may be stepping out a little bit of my box and talking to you like this. Quite frankly, I love it. I have a lot to say, and I'm bringing it to you from a place of love and compassion. So I ask you to listen from that space in your heart as well, not from your mind space. Listen from that heart space. Our human self has been corrupted by society and environment. Our belief systems that go all the way back 7 generations. They've scientifically proven that. If your grandma had a fear of spiders, then you're likely to have a fear of spiders. And if you don't know why you have that fear, maybe that's it. Maybe it really isn't truly yours. Maybe it's generational. Just know you can break that cycle. Part of what I do with people is help them to break that cycle. I assist people in waking up, in becoming more aware of their bodies, more aware of their soul, relying more on our spirit and soul aspect and a little less on the human aspect. We need the human part to operate on this planet, but we don't need it to always be the guiding force. Your guiding force is that intuition that comes from a higher power. The higher power is not necessarily outside of you, it's a part of you. That is your true nature. And when I tap into my higher self, it is amazing. I get so much done in the day. I have fun. Everything flows. I feel accomplished. It's like a well orchestrated music that flows through my day. So why not tap into that and release the struggles? So I know we didn't talk a lot about cause and effect, other than to say, become aware of your actions, your choices. Notice what the effect of those choices are. Then we start looking, okay, what was the effect that I had? If you liked the effect of following that intuition and going about your day in that way, then you made the right choice. If you're not happy with the way the effect turns out, just be aware of that. Maybe the next time around, you'll choose differently. You'll take a different path. So that is the main thing that I wanted to work with y'all on today, is mostly just listening and being aware that we do have universal laws, and I will be going over those throughout different podcasts to let you become familiar with them. I personally believe that when we talk about the third dimension, some of you may not understand that. It's literally a frequency. It's where we've been living in. I don't know if anybody noticed, but about 2020, when COVID hit, is when we as a species and as a society and as a planet started changing that frequency into the fourth dimension. And we are heading into the fifth dimension. Again, you don't have to be a science person to understand this. It is literally a frequency. It is an energy. It's like a radio dial. It's like we're turning the radio dial up. And when we do that, we are moving into a space of more love and connection on a deeper level than the 3D world. The 3D world is more about greed and what's good for me and hatred, honestly, which is just makes my skin crawl. No one is better than anybody else. We all put our pants on the same way. We all work through the same struggles. I don't care if you're the Pope. I don't care if you're the president of a country. I don't care if you're a bazillionaire. You are not better than me. We are all humans. We are all created equal, as they say in the Bible, as they say in the Tao, in the Quran. I'm sure. I have not read it, but I'm sure it's the same message that we are all equal. Why can't we live that way? Why can't we exist that way? What would our world look like if we understood that? Yes, some of us work harder than others. That's a choice. But it doesn't mean better than. It just means that our path is a little different than the guy who decides that he needs to take another path and not work so hard. And I'm not talking about financial stuff right now. I'm literally just talking about being a human. So, in your law of cause and effect, recognize that there is an interconnectedness there of the events that empower us and that make us have conscious choices, and those are what shape our reality. So, I hope you all enjoyed listening today. I hope it created a little more space in your mind and your brain to think of things a little bit differently from a different perspective. We will wrap this up for today, and we'll have to see what the universe wants me to talk about next time. So don't forget to root out the cause, transmute the problem. Simply through your awareness, when something happens, and especially if you're emotionally triggered, what's the cause of that situation? What am I to learn from the situation? Don't judge the situation, just be aware of it. All right, y'all have a blessed day, and I will see you next time. Thanks for listening.